Yane Indigo is a Bernie Sanders supporter who is Bernie or bust, and she was on CNN talking to a pro-Hillary pundit and a pro-Hillary Democratic strategist and discussing why she was Bernie or bust. And throughout the whole segment, both the pundit and the strategist were being incredibly smug and condescending to her because of her Bernie or bust position. Now, what she did in return was just calmly and articulately slay them both with the facts. So take a look, and then we'll come back and discuss this.
So Yane, I want to start with you. It's virtually impossible for Senator Sanders to win the nomination. So why is it Bernie or bust for you?
You know, a lot of people, they perceive the Bernie or bust movement as being something that's almost like a temper tantrum for people who support Bernie. And I think it's really important for people to understand that Bernie or bust is really a representation of how we feel about Hillary Clinton. We don't like Hillary Clinton, and we can't support her.
So, Yanni, under no circumstances would you vote for Hillary Clinton?
I'm definitely not going to vote for her.
So Emily, you're a Democratic strategist. You're a Clinton supporter. So convince Yanni she's wrong.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to hear that. And I do think there are a lot of people that are open to supporting Hillary. And really, the difference between the candidates has always really been in degree and not in kind. Look, there's no question that Sanders brought forward a lot of issues that really tapped into what a lot of people are feeling in this country right now and want to be talking about: income inequality, affordable college. He talked about free college. He talks about affordable college, money in politics. But the reality is that these are issues that she actually had in her platform, have always been a part of her platform, and she talks about increasingly more. He did put a real spotlight on them. He talks about them in very simplistic terms. And so I think it has forced her and her campaign to talk about them much more broadly and put them more front and center. But look, this campaign is going to, this general election is going to be about
second, Emily, because I want to see if any of that makes sense to Yanni. So when you hear Emily say those things, what do you think, Yanni?
Well, there are a few things I think. I think, first of all, that Hillary Clinton says things that aren't always what she means and aren't what she believes in. And she's demonstrated that, and one of the clearest ways that she's demonstrated that was in 2008 when she was running against then Senator Obama for president, and she claimed that she was going to, that she was against the Colombian Free Trade Agreement, and that she was going to be basically lobbying against that, and that's what she said publicly during her campaigning. But when her emails came out, we saw that what she was actually doing behind the scenes, out of the public eye, was actually lobbying for that exact agreement. So that's evidence for us that what Hillary Clinton says in order to win the election doesn't really have anything to do with what it is that she's going to actually do if she becomes the president. And so whatever she's talking about on her platform, I just don't trust her. And so while I do agree that there are a lot of things.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. You just don't trust her. And Emily, Mrs. Clinton does have a trust issue. So what can you say to voters like Yane to say, yes, you can now trust Hillary Clinton. She means what she says?
Yeah, that is clearly her highest vulnerability. That is something that we do see pervasive, and this has been a theme of media attacks on her for the last 20 years. Look, we forget the fact that most politicians come into the main stage at the same time to America. Maybe their state knows them, maybe their district knows them, but people generally get to know them all at the same time. That is not the case with Clinton, and there have always been these attacks on her for whatever reason. But I think that as we get more into, her history, her commitment, that we see that she actually always has been committed to fighting for people that don't have a voice.
Well, it has
always been there in her public service.
Yane, go ahead.
It's her history that actually, it's not just the Colombian Free Trade Agreement. It's what the State Department did under her leadership going into Haiti, and when they wanted to raise the minimum wage for the Haitians from 24 cents an hour to 61 cents an hour, they negotiated it down to 31 cents an hour. It's the regime change in Honduras and all of the people who are dying as a result of Clinton's influence in Honduras after they had their first democratic election. It's the mistake of the Iraq War. It's the mistake of Libya. It's her history that causes us questions. And so now she's saying new things, and she's saying new things that are popular. Suddenly she realizes that the importance of Black Lives Matter because of the Black Lives Matter movement. And these things don't seem genuine. They seem like what she needs to say in order to get elected. We don't trust what she says, and we don't like what she's done. And so for those combined reasons, we won't vote for Hillary Clinton.
Okay, last word, Emily.
Look, I think that people read into what they believe what they want to believe, right? Like, you can discount pieces of past if you don't think they fit with a current narrative. I think there is a lot to be said for somebody who can learn from their past mistakes and say, look, we tried it. It didn't work. We're moving forward with something that does work. That is what we want in a leader. That is what we want with the president of the United States. And I don't think that we're seeing that, honestly, across the board in any other of the candidates.
All right, I have to leave it there.
What I want in a leader is a person who has foresight. I want a leader who has foresight, who has the ability to know in 1994 that there are issues with the crime bill, not to look back after thousands of lives have been destroyed and families have been destroyed and say, ooh, I made a mistake. I want somebody who has the foresight to say, no, I'm not going to vote for the Iraq war because that's wrong. Not somebody who's going to later on say, oops, that was a mistake. I don't think our country can afford the mistakes that come with hindsight. We want somebody who has the foresight to make the right decisions in the beginning.
Okay, I have to leave it there.
Now I'm conflicted because even though I loved the segment because she completely destroyed them, I actually felt really frustrated because they were so smug and condescending to her. Emily, can you please bless this dumb peasant and inform her as to why she's completely wrong? Please enlighten her with your overwhelming intelligence about Hillary Clinton. Just completely smug and condescending. And then it got even worse. So basically she interrupted Emily and was like, no, slow down, okay? Because I don't want this peasant here to get too confused, right? We have to speak slowly because these dumb peasants who support burning or bust, they can't understand the details and the facts. So you really got to slow down and get down on their level when you're speaking to them. But their asses were burned when she hit them with the hard facts after that. So she began retorting against their bullshit by stating reasons why she doesn't support Hillary Clinton based on facts, very specific facts. The look on their face when she talked about how Hillary Clinton fought against a Haitian minimum wage when they were negotiating from 24 cents an hour to 61 cents an hour, and how Hillary Clinton negotiated them down to 31 cents an hour, made them realize that they were the ones getting enlightened. And the consultant said, people believe what they want to believe. Right, that's what you're doing when you support Hillary Clinton. You think you're supporting a Democrat when in actuality, you're supporting a Republican. She is Democrat in name only. Now, my favorite part is where the Democratic strategist said, look, there's something to be said about a candidate that can learn from her mistakes. I know Hillary Clinton made all these mistakes. She has throughout her career been consistently on the wrong side of history, even though she claims to be a Democrat. But look, she's learned from her mistakes. Has she though? See, after voting to illegally invade Iraq, she realized maybe it was a mistake to overthrow leaders in other countries. But then, apparently she didn't learn from that mistake because then she pushed Obama to overthrow Gaddafi in Libya, and now Obama calls that one of the biggest mistakes of his administration. So, did she learn from that? Did she learn from the Honduras coup that she backed to overthrow their democratically elected leader? No. So, even though she's made mistakes over and over and over again, now she wants to overthrow Assad in Syria. Do you really think that Hillary Clinton has learned from her mistakes? Do you really think that taking on Republican foreign policy positions, such as implementing a Syrian no-fly zone to escalate tensions with Russia, is learning from your mistakes? I don't think that's learning from my mistakes, but maybe that's just me. Maybe, I'm living in my own deluded reality where up is down, left is right, and yes means no and no means yes. I don't know. But it looks as though Hillary Clinton has never learned from any of her mistakes. Case in point, she has consistently been slow to adopt the platform of her collective peers and party members. She was against legalizing gay marriage. She was one of the last people to come around to it. The Democratic Party came around in 2012. She came around in 2013. Furthermore, when it comes to marijuana, the party wants to legalize marijuana. All the voters do, a majority, and Hillary Clinton is against that. Universal health care, a majority of Democratic voters are in favor of that. Hillary's against it now. So I don't think Hillary Clinton has learned from her mistakes. Now look, at the end of the day, am I in support of a candidate who can learn from their mistakes? Well, look, I'd rather have a candidate who has foresight rather than hindsight, as Yane made the point. But, I could respect someone who makes a mistake and learns from it. We're all human. But Hillary Clinton doesn't even have hindsight, let alone foresight. So no, I don't think she's learned from her mistakes, and I don't think there's any valid reason to support her. So as these two individuals, the pro-Clinton pundit, who, again, CNN, their owner is Time Warner, who is one of Hillary Clinton's largest donors, so she's just a puppet for them. So she's sitting here being all smug and condescending. This Democratic strategist is trying to talk down to this person, but they have no response when you hit them with the facts. And most Bernie Sanders supporters, they can list off a bunch of reasons why Hillary Clinton is not the candidate who they want to support and why they're Bernie or bust. Now, the tone in the media towards people who are Bernie or bust, it's honestly infuriating to me, because people who are Bernie or bust, they're not stupid. As Yane stated, it's not like these individuals are trying to throw a tantrum. They just can't support Hillary Clinton for moral and ethical reasons. For me, I'm living in a blue state, a deep blue state. So I'm not worried about my vote throwing off the entire election. So I feel really bad for Bernie Sanders supporters in swing states who may feel compelled to vote for Hillary Clinton. For me, I'm not going to be complicit in any more wars. Okay? When I voted for Barack Obama and then he immediately ramped up drone strikes in Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia, I felt as though I not only, one, was complicit because, my tax dollars funded those bombs to kill civilians, but I basically gave him permission by voting for him. And I'm not going to do that for Hillary Clinton. I'm not going to give her permission to commit atrocities abroad to help out defense contractors. I can't support a candidate who is taking the Democratic Party in the wrong direction. So this is a personal decision. These people aren't irrational. They're not trying to get Donald Trump in office. We don't support Republicans. That's why we won't vote for Hillary Clinton, because she's very close with them on basically every issue, with the exception of social issues like LGBT rights now, thankfully, and abortion. So for me, I just have no reason to vote for Hillary Clinton. I'm not going to vote against my own interests. I'm not going to send the message to the party to keep abusing me, to keep representing special interests as I cast my vote for them. No, thank you. So people who are Bernie or bust are not stupid. So the media really needs to stop acting like it, because this is a rational decision, and it's one that's personal that each individual has to make. So shame on them for talking down to a Bernie Sanders supporter who's Bernie or bust, but we know why they're doing it. Again, the CNN pundit is a puppet. Anyone on CNN is representing the interests of their parent company, Time Warner. So if you think that they're just speaking freely off the cuff, like I can, or like independent media outlets can, think again. These people are puppets doing what they're supposed to do.